Okay, so today it's day 14 of 15 days of foundation. This is where I've been trying out a new foundation every single day for 15 days. This is actually season 6 of this, so I have 5 other seasons out there if you're new here. 15 days of foundation is also part of a charity project I do called Beauty Wishes 2019. So leave a link down below, but we're shooting to raise $25,000 by the end of this series. You can donate directly through PayPal or on the site, or you can purchase merch. So I'm going to have all that info down below. There's also an announcement video that goes through everything if you are new here. So today, for day 14, we're finally talking about the new Morphe foundation that some of you guys have been asking about. This is the Morphe Fluidity Full Coverage Foundation. I also purchased the concealer. So I'm actually on Morphe's PR list, but I did not receive the foundation or the concealer in the mail. I think sometimes brands are a little bit scared to send me their foundation launches. So I just went ahead and purchased this on the Morphe website, and it's cool because I also got the little shade swatches here, so I can actually swatch a few more shades for you guys. I've had an affiliate code with Morphe for years. I never really talk about it because if you want to use it, you can use it. It's in the description box. If you don't want to use it, you can use someone else's code. It's all good. It has no bearing on my reviews of products. You can have affiliate codes and affiliate links through almost every single product on the market out there. Whether a product is good or bad, affiliate links just basically give credit to the person who led them to the site, if that makes sense. So if you go on Ulta and purchase something after this because I or someone else initially led you to Ulta to make that decision, we get a super small percentage, like usually a few cents. I have a whole blog post on my thoughts on affiliate codes and disclosure, so it's down in the description box in every video in FTC if you want to read more about that. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about this foundation, shall we? This foundation retails for $18. You get 1 fluid ounce of product, and they launched with 60 shades. So launching with 60 shades is pretty incredible. I thought F1.1 might have been too light, so I went with 1.2. No idea. I haven't done swatches yet, so I don't know how this is gonna look. But the description, it says, finally, a foundation throwing major shade. No pun intended. Meet Morphe Fluidity, the long-wearing, full-coverage matte foundation that performs like a boss and is not cut in the middle, playing size, blah, blah. 24-hour long wear, sweat-proof, transfer-resistant, water-resistant, free of oils, fragrance, and parabens. Great. It says it's great for all skin types, even though it is a matte foundation. That's basically it on the claims. Full coverage, matte, long-wearing, water-resistant, transfer-resistant. So I'm going to start swatches here of the shade F1.2 compared to, I'll do a few of these, I'm not going to swatch all of these, but I'll do a few of these next to some of my other foundations too. Okay, so swatches of the Morphe foundation in natural lighting. The first 4 are all Morphe, so I swatched them from the little swatch packet thingies. But here's F1.1, F1.2, F1.3, and you guessed it, F1.4. This one looks very yellow. Here's the Pacifica Light Foundation in 38 Neutral Fair. L'Oreal Fresh Wear Foundation in the lightest shade 400, Fenty Beauty 110, CYO Life Proof in 101, and Dermacol 208. So if you've been enjoying 50 days of foundation and you're excited for day 14, you can give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Let's get into it. Here we go. All right, right now it is 9:56 in the morning. I have my laundry timer on there. Like usual, my face is very well moisturized right now. We're gonna do half my face with the brush and half with the sponge. And you obviously get squeeze tube packaging with this one. Uh-oh, this one might be too light. This is going to be another coat my face in bronzer kind of day. All right, so let's start out with a brush on this side of my face. This is supposed to be full coverage. It actually feels a lot thinner than I was kind of picturing, just based on the whole squeeze tube thing. Okay, definitely got the wrong shade, folks. Whoops. Smells like paint. I'm going to spread this up to my forehead because a little bit does go a long way with this one. Oh god, this shade is not my best pick. Okay, a little bit definitely goes a long way. I got too much product, so I'm going to spread this over here. I feel like I am painting my face right now. We definitely need to do something about this. I'm going to smooth this over with a sponge a little bit down here. Oh, apparently I have a little zit there right on my lip. Definitely looking pretty awful on my forehead. Let's do the other side with the sponge first, and then I'm going to smooth everything out because what is happening over there? It's like entirely settling into my nose. What the heck? Coverage. It does look like high coverage. I don't think it's like total opaque full coverage. I mean, I can still see redness coming through. I can still see freckles. It looks very patchy right now, so I'm hoping the sponge is going to help smooth that out. It's not looking too great. So let's go in on the other side with the sponge. My face is darker than my neck, So looking at my neck, it's like, you know, probably still a shade, maybe half a shade too light. So I definitely could have gone with a different shade, but it's not too awful if you look at it compared to my neck. As this is going on, it feels very dry. Like I feel like my face is a little bit deserty right now. There are matte foundations that work on dry skin. I think I'm gonna do a video on that once the series is over, because I feel like I've found a decent amount so far that work really well on dry skin. It's looking a lot better on the sponge side as far as how it blended out. I'm definitely getting lighter coverage. Looks like medium coverage on the sponge side, but the finish looks much better with a sponge. So I'm gonna just try and smooth everything out on this side. I do have more textured skin when makeup is on it, so a lot of foundations just totally emphasize the texture on my forehead and can just look super cakey, and this is one of those that is doing that basically everywhere. This part of my face doesn't look too bad with the sponge right here. It is helping going over it with the sponge for sure. Ooh, what is happening right there? It's looking super dry and patchy. It looks like I have major dry patches right here, but I don't. I always get real up close in natural lighting and zoom in so you guys can see what I'm seeing and see how it looks just in different lighting. I also always do a flash test. So right now it's 10:04. We're gonna call the check-in time 10 o'clock just to make things easy. The finish feels like a powder finish, so I like that about it. It does feel like I'm gonna be able to blend stuff on top of it. I'm hoping this is one of those matte foundations that kind of like warms up to my skin throughout the day, because right now it's not looking too hot. There's probably no way I would just wear this again alone. There's definitely no way. Oh, totally forgot we were also trying out the concealer. Let's do that. I think this is also supposed to be, yeah, full coverage concealer. I got the shade C 1.15. Okay, the concealer shade looks like it's gonna be a pretty good shade. I like this kind of doe foot applicator. It's like the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer one where it's like kind of bendy. Whenever I wear concealers for foundation reviews, I don't like to bring them in like a major triangle. I haven't been doing that really anyways, like in daily life and makeup wear. So I'm just gonna start out, in case this one dries fast, on this eye first and kind of spread this across but not too far down, just so it doesn't affect like this area of the foundation. I feel like a lot of my darkness is still coming through there. This is one of those concealers that as it's like drying down, I'm getting less coverage. It definitely looks a bit patchy and I can see a big dark spot right here still coming through. I'm gonna add a tiny bit more right here because didn't really cover that. Let's try to just blend it out with a sponge. Okay, I feel like I'm not really getting full coverage at all. And it's looking pretty patchy. Sometimes with concealer with me, if it's not a super quick drying formula like the KKW or something, I'll just let it sit for like 30 seconds and then I'll get better coverage when I go to blend it out. So I'm gonna try that on this side, just let it like chill there for a second, because I do not like how it looks on this side. This might be one that I like layered. A lot of concealers for me don't work out on their own, but if I put like the Flower Beauty Light Illusion underneath and then put something like this on top, it works out a lot better for me. I'm not getting full coverage. That side looks like I got slightly better coverage, but I would say this just looks like medium coverage. I'm gonna do my usual under eye powders. I don't feel like I need to set my face, so that's good. It looks like it's almost, is it oxidizing? Because I feel like it matches a little bit better now. But I definitely don't feel like I need to powder my face part at all. I have dry skin. Foundation lasts fine on its own without powdering. It looks like a cakey hot mess if I powder my whole face. So if I do powder, I just do like targeted powdering and only powder at the areas that I need to blend stuff on top. So now I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and we'll be right back. It is 10:35 now. Check-in time again is 10 o'clock. So it looks basically exactly the same, but now a little bit more creasy. I am getting more creasing on my upper lip and around my mouth area, and overall it's just looking very dry, cakey, not flattering. I wouldn't say this is full coverage. Like the more I'm looking at my face, I can just still see stuff coming through. You guys will be able to see more, I think, in natural lighting, but I can still see like my freckles coming through. I can still see scarring. It looks just like a medium coverage foundation to me, and I do feel like I used, you know, pretty decent amount like you guys saw when I first applied it with the brush. But that's where I'm at right now. So the makeup on the rest of my face, I tried out a different shade of the Wet n Wild bronzer. I tried this out, the lightest shade in, I think it was either a first impressions video or one of the days of 15 days. And this is Sunset Strip Tease. I thought this one might be less orange. It's still a bit orangey for my skin tone. It's not going to be like my new go-to bronzer shade, but I think it's wearable. Use the Buxom blush in Havana and with the Flower Beauty Highlight Trio Shimmer and Strobe SP1. I just went with the pink shade here, and I also have this one on my inner corner. I've been really loving this palette. Super pretty. For eyeshadow, I tried out this new Pixie palette. I've been so into cool tones, and this one's the Natural Beauty Eye Reflection palette, and I liked the shades I used so far. I mean, I only used like 3. I used just kind of like top area row here. And then for lips, I combined these two Origins lipsticks. This one is in the shade Nude Blossom, which is kind of like the more peachy one, and then to add a little bit more pink in there, I put this one over top, and this is, oh, wait, what? Pink Blossom? Oh, Nude Blossom, and this one's Pink Blossom. But let's go ahead into natural lighting. It is still snowing today. I think we're on like day 5 of snow right now. It's crazy. Might go work from a cafe today just to like get out of the house. Let's go do a flash test and we'll go natural lighting. Okay, we are in front of the window in natural lighting. I think it actually looks a bit better in natural lighting right now. It's not looking as like flat. It looks more like a satin matte finish right now. Still looks just as cakey and like patchy and weird in certain spots, so that doesn't look any better, but you know, overall I think it looks about like a point better in natural lighting. Okay, I wanted to get really up close right here because that's what I was talking about by my brow right here. See how it looks super like dry and just weird? Between my eyebrows you can see it just looks like a bit weird, like separated almost, and very dry looking. You can see some like redness coming through there. And then I also have some dry looking areas on my forehead. Down here, same thing. It just looks very dry and cakey. And overall, I just think it looks definitely like heavier, drier foundation. And you can see my under eyes, like it's not really covering. And this is after I've used my powders. And usually when I use my powders, since they do have coverage, it like adds coverage. So it looked like even lighter coverage than this. But I'm getting pretty bad creasing with that concealer. You can see darkness especially coming through on this side. This side looks a bit better. So right now I'm not feeling the concealer or the foundation, but let's do a flash test. I think there is a bit of bounce back with this one. Looking at my arms, it does look like a bit more light than I think it does in real life. Maybe a little bit. Not like horrible. Like I don't think this would be awful in flash, but my face definitely looks a little bit on the light side. Again, hard to tell if that's the foundation or just the shade being too light, but I will check in with you guys in a few hours in natural light. It's now 3:45, so it's been on for almost 6 hours. I just got back from working at the coffee shop a little bit ago. So, whoa, wasn't expecting that. Forgot what foundation we had on for a minute. I'm looking very dewy. I was expecting to look more matte. This is the first time I'm looking at my face since I left my house. Yeah, I'm looking quite dewy on my forehead. I didn't put on any kind of setting spray or anything, so compared to what we were looking like before, I'm definitely pretty dewy. Dewy, but still weirdly dry looking, mostly on the bottom half of my face. So I'm still looking very dry on the bottom half of my face, pretty much everywhere, and pretty creasy. I'm getting dry right here. Right here, I look very dry. I usually don't get any kind of dryness on my chin. My forehead, I think, looks a little bit better now that it's dewier, just because it's not as cakey looking now that it's like a little bit dewier. I'm still getting like the dryness and patchiness and weirdness in certain areas, but I do feel like it looks slightly better than the last check-in. We'll see how, alarm for this check-in, but we will see how this looks by the end of the night. Okay, it's now 6:40, so this one's been on for almost 9 hours. My forehead, I feel like it's actually gotten better looking throughout the day, but on the rest of my face, it's gotten worse. So the rest of my face just looks super dry, cakey, same thing. So I hope it's showing up on camera, but it just looks like extremely dry pretty much everywhere. It is kind of like weirdly bunching around my nose area still. This one's a definite no for me, but it doesn't look as terrible as the foundation we reviewed yesterday and the Ulta one. I think both of those actually looked a bit worse. That's where I'm at with this one, but I hope you guys enjoyed day 14. Tomorrow, day 15, is the last day of 15 days of foundation. I personally am ready to have a video break, but I am also sad for the series to end. But I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow for day 15.